Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bailey. In today's video I am sharing with you guys my service dog and training essentials. What things do you need or need to consider when raising a service dog in training? I have mine here. Come here, Mav. This big old puppy is my service dog in training. This is Maverick. He is 5 months old and he is a F1 standard Bernedoodle. So this is my service dog in training. So that was Maverick, and he is actually the second service dog that I have raised. So I have been through this process twice, so I got you guys, especially if it's your first time raising a service dog. It is very intimidating, so I hope this is helpful of things to get or things to consider getting when you are raising a service dog in training or right before you get your prospect. So jumping right on into the essentials, the first thing is a leash, and I highly recommend a multi-functional leash. So if you don't know what that is, it is a leash that is convertible. So right now I have it to go around my waist. You could also adjust it to being a crossbody kind of leash, or you can make this like padded handle smaller and make it like a regular leash. And then it also has this right here, so I can adjust the length of it. It's on the longest, but you can make it smaller. And when you're starting training, you're probably not going to do hands-free, but this is a one-time purchase. I've had this leash for 3 years. It's from Outerwear. It is held up. It's been through the wash, all of that stuff, and it is held up. But it is a one-time purchase, and you don't have to buy 3 separate leashes for 3 different purposes. And they make them in all different materials. There's biothane, there's leather, and then they have just like the regular fabric ones like these. So I would highly look into getting a multifunctional leash. It will last you a long time. My next essential is a treat pouch, and I have several to show you guys. So this is the first treat pouch that I ever got. If you watch my first video, you will see this. So I've had it for like almost 3 years. It's looking a little dingy, but again, this has been through the wash. This is on Amazon. I think it's by eBasics, and and like Maverick knows what this is. Like I was saying, you can get this on Amazon. I believe it's even a bestseller in the Amazon dog treat pouches category, and it lasts. And then it has the belt, but you can also take it off and just use the clips to clip it on your pants if you prefer to wear it that way. So this is an option. It is magnetic. It only has like 2 magnetic clasps, but it's held up. Great option, great inexpensive option on Amazon. Just to show you guys some different options in the treat pouch. So I have this wild one. I just got it, and it looks like this. And the reason that I got this one is because it has more pockets. And if you are an owner training your service dog, you have the treat pouch, you have your purse, you are handling the leash, and there's just a lot of handling things, different pockets. So I wanted one where I could put treats in like my phone, just like when we're doing quick PA outings, instead of like having 3 different things on me and all that. So this one is cool. It has on this side like a front pocket here. It also on the side has a poop bag dispenser, so there is a little like pocket for that in here. And then this is kind of hard to see, but it has a 2-sided like 2 sides to it on the inside, so you can put like your wallet and keys here. And then on this side I have some kibble because I was using this today to train Maverick. So this is a great option. You can wear it crossbody, or you can also wear it as like a fanny pack. And then speaking of fanny packs, that's just another option. I got this one at Walmart. Use it for hiking. So if you do that with your service dog and want something that's versatile, then you could get something like this. Also great room to hold just all your stuff, your phone, your wallet. You don't have to use these for hiking, but this is another option if that is more accessible or just something you would use. So there's like lots of compartments in these, and I found this at Walmart in like the camping hiking section. So really easy to find something like this as well. So since I covered treat pouches, then we have to talk about treats. So these are just some of the ones that I have on hand that are still in their bags, and I don't want to say just get treats. Some people don't realize that there are different values to different types of treats, and that is really dependent on your dog what will work for them. So what I mean by that is, like, a piece of kibble has a way lower value than like a piece of chicken or hot dog, and you are to use those in different situations. So say you're inside doing some sit training, you'll probably just use kibble, whereas if you're outside in a high distraction environment, then you'll want to use something with a little more value where your dog will actually want to work for it, like a piece of hot dog. If you're in a high distraction environment, and this is just an example, but say it's just very stimulating to the dog and you only have kibble on you, some dogs, they will work for that. Some dogs are like, I'd rather be reinforced by the environment than by the kibble that you have. So that is something to research and look into, especially like when to use certain treats when. So yeah, definitely get a variety of treats. You already have their kibble. You could also get like a small, like 5-pound bag of a different kind of kibble just for some difference, and then you can get like regular training treats. Freeze-dried treats are higher up there, and then just like chicken, lunch meat, like that kind of stuff is like high value. You save for like very special, hard distraction, just very special occasions with your dog. So anyways, those are about treats. All right, the next one I have is something you don't always have to have with you, but it's something kind of extra that's good to have, and that is a travel water bowl, preferably collapsible just because it's easier to store. This one is a pretty good size one. They make bigger and smaller ones, but this is just for outings. I would think that as a service dog in training, you're not going on super long outings, but if it's hot outside, or your service dog in training is more advanced in their training or further along in their training, definitely have a water bowl to keep them hydrated. And also too, you can put food in it if needed. It's just something that is easy to carry around and doesn't hurt to have. And then something that is not necessary at all, but I personally have like a reusable water bottle that is for my dogs. That way I just fill it before any outing, and I always have water. I don't have to go out and buy any. I don't have to go look for any. So I always have some on hand, and you know, it's a reusable water bottle. So not necessary, but just something to think about. And then the next thing is probably the most exciting thing for any service dog handler, and that is gear. So by law, you do not have to label your dog as a service dog. It is a preference. A lot of handlers do like to label their service dog just so people know it's a service dog and to not distract their pet, even though sometimes people just ignore that. But I personally like to label my dogs that they are service dogs, and especially that they are service dogs in training. So the first vest that I always buy for my service dogs in training is just a basic tactical vest on Amazon. They come in different colors, and there's obviously different variations, but basically looks like this, and it has the Velcro on the back for any patches, so you can label them in training or service dog. And really, because your puppy is going to grow, especially if you have a big breed dog, like Maverick fit in this for like maybe a month or two, and it was like looking a little small on him. It's a personal preference not to buy custom gear when they're just gonna grow out of it in 2 months. I mean, go for it if you can. I know a lot of handlers on Instagram will sell their used gear, so you could definitely get it at like a more discounted price. But yeah, definitely gear that you can label them in training. And just to show you guys another option, this is an old harness from my late service dog. So this one isn't in training specific, but you could also buy gear that you can use when they're more full grown. So I did this with Maverick. I actually have some gear on the way that says like in training, and it's service dog in training specific, but you can buy gear that's like a grow with me style, or tell them to make whatever size your dog is now the smallest size, so that way the gear will grow with them and you can just get a longer use out of it. So like for this one, it is on the smallest size. I do use this one with Maverick just until like the in-training gear that I've ordered comes in. But yeah, it's still a little bit too big for him, but it works. And then you can also, like, if you don't want the sides to say in training because you want to keep it for a long time, you can always add accessories like patch tabs. So this one says like stop, do not distract, but you can get ones that say in training, or you can get leash straps like this that say in training. I love leash straps. I have 2 of these, but Maverick chewed the other one. Puppyhood at its finest. But yeah, you could definitely buy like just service dog gear and then add accessories that say in training. But personally, like I said, I just like to label that they're in training, especially when you do PA outings. I always get so nervous doing that because I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna kick us out, we're not perfect. But if you label them in training, then they kind of know that they're not going to be perfect and that you're actively training them. So yeah, a preference, but just something to consider, and some different options for gear and kind of like getting your money's worth. Next, I am moving on to outerwear, which I would say is pretty necessary, especially for a service dog. They are going with you, well, not right now as a service dog in training, but they will be accompanying you pretty much everywhere. So I would say it is pretty necessary just being out in the elements. So like the first thing I would get is boots. This is for the heat and also for the cold. So when the pavement is too hot for their feet, they need to have boots. If it's too cold, or like really the salt that they lay on the snow or the ice, again, could like burn your dog's paws. So highly recommend getting boots. These are honestly from Petco, the Arcadia Trail. Roughwear is a great brand. There's Muck boots. Those are like the popular brands that I know of, but I seriously just went to Petco because I was in a time crunch and needed boots like that day. So I just went and these worked. I would say they're pretty decent. I mean, they've held up, but they only come in one size, so you can't do like because usually dogs' back paws are smaller than their front paws. So anyways, definitely look into getting boots to protect your service dog. And then along with that, just something to consider is different jackets depending on where you live. So for example, I have 2 winter coats and I really don't get much use out of these because I do live in Texas, but we get like 1 to 2 good like ice storms that last, I mean, a couple days. A couple years ago there was like Ice-mageddon or Snow-mageddon, whatever you want to call it. This also depends on your dog's coat too, but just something to consider. You probably also want to consider a rain jacket. I currently don't have one, but I am looking to get one. Again, Roughwear has great options. If you can't tell, I really like their brand, but there's Amazon options as well for rain jackets. And then again, depending on where you live and the type of dog you have, cooling jackets. So if you're somewhere that's really hot, like I would say in Texas, I could probably use a cooling coat, or if you go out a lot in the heat, there's just a bunch of factors, but definitely consider outerwear. It protects your dog, and really as a service dog in training, they are training to accompany you everywhere, and that includes inside and outside, in and out of the elements. So just things to consider. Also too, it's not a bad idea to start them young on just outerwear to desensitize them. So even though they are service dogs in training, they're not accompanying you everywhere just yet. We want to start desensitizing them to it now. We don't want them to be, you know, fully trained and they just like won't wear boots, or you know, that's another step, and you're wanting, you know, they're fully trained, they can now pretty much go everywhere with you. So just something else to keep in mind. So moving on to my next essential. Every dog needs this, but especially for service dog handlers, we have to keep up with their grooming. So it is really necessary to have good grooming supplies. So I have some coat spray. Like every dog needs to be bathed, but this is just a good like get you by until the weekend when you have time to bathe, or like kind of tide you over until your next grooming appointment, whatever the situation is. But some like fragrance coat spray, and then just having like good brushes, especially like as a doodle mama. I, like my dog Maverick, brings in all the leaves, all the stickers, like everything sticks to his coat, so I'm pretty much like brushing him every day. So just a good wide tooth comb, and then I have a good brush here. I'm actually have on order like a longer what are these called, a longer pinned brush for, I also have a Bernese Mountain Dog, but when my Doodle's hair gets longer, just it's good to know what kind of brushes you need for your dog breed. But yeah, just having good grooming supplies is necessary, and also to just something to start now so you can desensitize them, and grooming will not be a problem when they are fully trained. And then my next essential is a huge one, and that is a training plan. It is very necessary to have a training plan, know what kind of training method you want to use, what tools you're going to use, if you're going to use tools. If you, especially if you're an owner trainer, do your research. I have never gotten a dog from a program, but I know that includes research as well. But just speaking from the perspective of a owner trainer, doing your research, especially like I cannot tell you, before I got my first service dog, I was watching videos on YouTube, even just for the basics, like do your research, know how you're going to train this dog, how you want to train this dog. Yeah, that was very helpful for me going into training my first service dog. I already knew kind of what I was doing, even though it was my first dog. And also too, just as an owner trainer, it saved me a lot of money, which is why a lot of people do owner training, is to save money, or they don't have money for a $20,000 to $30,000 program dog. So yeah, definitely have a training plan. You can also reach out to trainers in your area and see, you know, if one would be a good fit to help you with your service dog and training, just in case you need that help, especially if it's your first service dog. Last but not least is to have some sort of a bag to carry all of your dog's stuff in. I don't think people realize how much stuff a service dog in training has, but when you're carrying, like, what if it rains? So you have their rain jacket in your bag, you have their treats, extra treats, you have poop roll bags, you have a brush in case, you know, you need to brush them off real quick before you go in somewhere. Like, they have a lot of stuff. So I love getting like a small backpack. There's really cute stylish ones. That's what I personally use. If you get a tote bag, I like the backpacks too because they are hands-free. So yeah, definitely look into getting a bag that will fit your stuff. I know in college, like, finding a backpack that, yeah, fit my stuff, all my stuff for school, and then whatever my late service dog needed as well. So definitely something to consider and think about. So those are my service dog in training essentials. There's definitely a lot more stuff they could add to this list, but I would say this stuff is pretty bare minimum necessities, or just things you should really consider getting, even to just desensitize your service dog in training to. I hope this was really helpful. I hope it gave you some ideas, especially if you are a first-time service dog handler. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave any video suggestions you have for me down below. I would love to make videos that you guys would want to watch, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye, friends.